Hi, I'm Kate Kress,
And I'm John Fuse.
and we're here this morning to welcome you to St. James. And it's every day is St. James Day here, but this weekend is actually also the weekend of the year that we celebrate St. James Day. So we thought we'd tell you a little bit about our patron saint, St. James, and I'm going to hand it over to you. First of all, what do you think of, Father John, when you think about St. James?
Well, I guess scripturally, we only, I think, have 4 accounts of St. James. The calling of him and his brother John. He was invited to witness the transfiguration, that little scuffle that goes on when it is asked if him and his brother can sit at the right and the left hand.
Which is what we're going to be hearing later this morning.
Yep. And then the Acts passage that we hear, the death of James.
Yeah. And don't forget that Jesus called James and his brother John Sons of Thunder, which I think sounds like a motorcycle gang.
Yeah. Some people think it has something to do with their tempers, but
Oh, yeah. So he had a temper, and also he was the first disciple to be martyred.
that's right.
And that's why we're going to be wearing red this morning, the color of martyrdom. So legends about St. James are very ancient, and I know that he's the patron saint of Spain. And a dream that I have, and I think it's a dream that you have too, is to walk the way of James. It's this pilgrim path that goes across Spain. There's other routes as well. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah, the Camino de Santiago terminates at the Cathedral of St. James, in Spanish, the Compostela de Santiago. And the story of how that cathedral came to play is pretty interesting. I think it was sometime in the 900s, a shepherd at nighttime was awoken by this mysterious field of stars that was appearing. And so he went and told the bishop the next day. And they went to the spot where the stars were, and the bishop recognized the relics that were there as St. James. And he said, this is where we're going to build the cathedral. And so it gets its name from the field of stars in Latin, that is Campus Steli. And so that's why it's called, in Spanish, Santiago de Compostela, the field of stars of St. James.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of pilgrims a year make that journey across Spain, or there's a Portuguese route and a French route. Lots of different ways to get there, but you culminate in that beautiful place. And they say it's a beautiful church as well.
It is.
Can't wait to see it someday. But how did his body get to Spain?
So the
legend
holy tradition.
Holy tradition, is that what we call a legend?
Us that right before he was executed by Herod, he was actually preaching up in Galicia and had come down, and when he was executed by Herod, they asked to take his body back to Spain to be buried. And so the legend is that the boat encountered a terrible storm on its way back to Spain, was completely destroyed, and they thought that they had lost the remains of St. James forever. And then months later, his body washed ashore, completely covered in scallop shells.
Whoa.
And was perfectly intact. And so that's why on the Camino and in so many of our tile works around the church, you'll see that little seashell. That's why that's associated with St. James.
And our flag. The seashell, the symbol, it's so beautiful. Covered in seashells. Isn't that a wonderful image?
Yeah.
So those are some of the legends / holy traditions around James. But what we do know for sure is that he was one of the 12 disciples, the first martyred, beheaded, probably fiery tempered, and I think we're so blessed and happy that we are St. James, because this is a church where so many people come from all over the world. It feels like I don't know if it's a pilgrimage destination or a stop along the way, but it's a meaningful name, I think, for us. And that brings me to what we want to say to you most of all, and that is that even though you're not with us here physically this morning, you're very much here in our hearts, and you're here on the live stream. And when we look at the camera, we're looking at you, and we just want you to know that we're so glad that you're here. You're very welcome here at St. James in the city. Anything else to add?
Nope, just happy St. James
Yes.
Day to our field of stars, all of you.